The other portion is a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccination.
Well, hello out there. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Christopher Wright Show. And as everybody knows on my channel, I don't push ads and I don't sell products. So if you enjoy the content, please click on one of the links in the description section below or in the comment section and show support. Thank you and enjoy the show. Hello out there. How's everybody doing? Is everybody's favorite conservative in New York, Christopher Wright, here with another of my momentous sit back and chat videos. What's today's sit back and chat gonna talk about? First and foremost, as you guys can see, I got my hat on. It's not Black Lives Matter, but it's Black Lives MAGA. Black Lives MAGA, big difference. I want to make that very clear because I'm about to speak about a subject that's very important. I'm going to speak about sleepy, creepy Joe Biden's recent town hall. I believe it was in Wisconsin he had. And first and foremost, before I can get to the main topic of what he said, he starts off the whole speech with Anderson Cooper, because, you know, they got CNN, Clinton News Network, doing an interview with him. He starts it off by saying, he likes kids more than people or something like that. So he's pretty much saying kids aren't human beings. I don't know. You know, it's dementia. But anyways, the main topic I want to talk about what he said a statement where he pretty much said that the reason why a lot of minorities aren't getting the vaccine for the Chinese flu, the Chinese virus, is because they don't have the capability of using the internet, knowing how to get on the internet, logging on, and signing up to get the vaccination shot, which is racism. So we talk about Trump for the past 4 years. Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist, Trump's a bigot, Trump's this, that, and the third. Then you guys vote for, this guy who is a blatant racist. This is a guy who was pro-segregation in the late 70s. He tried to get the segregation bill passed in the late 70s to continue that on to stop, in the civil rights bill. So that was him in the late 70s, still trying to be pro-segregation. He also passed the 94 crime bill along with Bill Clinton, which is the crime bill that imprisoned more blacks than any bill ever passed in American history. Can't forget that. The Three Strikes Law. Can't forget that. Took Trump to do the First Step Act to get rid of that, by the way. The so-called racist president Trump did this. So anyways, this is what he has done throughout his entire life. This is the same guy when he was running in 2020 said, "You are not black unless you vote for him." So he's telling black people, you aren't even your own race. You're not even your own community unless you vote for me, a obviously blatant, racist white man. So this is who we're talking about here, Joe Biden here, people. So I want to talk about that, and this is what I call low expectation racism. You guys remember I did a video last year talking about low expectation racism, because I see it a lot, especially here in New York City. You got a lot of people who are suffering from white guilt as well as TDS. And they got white guilt, and they look at black people like they got to give them handouts. Like black people aren't capable to get out and be successful, be hard workers on their own. And that's BS. You see the same thing with the voter fraud situation with voter IDs. You see a lot of Democrats saying, blacks can't get ID. That's disrespectful. You expect blacks to be able to get IDs and go out and vote. And when they went to the inner city and asked black people the same question, all of them were like, yeah, of course we got IDs. Of course we can get an ID. Like, come on, man. That's like, they looked at it as like disrespectful. Like, why would you ask them something so stupid? So these are the same people who run the Democratic Party. The same Democratic Party did physical plantations back in the day are doing mental plantations now to black people. It's mental slavery. It is what it is. So this is what you're seeing right now with Joe Biden. And I want to talk also about Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola business came out, and the CEOs or the heads of business, they had a meeting where they brought employees in to sit them down, had somebody talk to them, and pretty much telling them, you guys have to work on being less white. Whatever that means, I don't know. That's to me, it's all foolish when I hear that statement coming out talking about being less white. It's like when I hear, I heard as a black man, I heard people when I speak or I carry myself, I speak very properly because, my parents raised me good. So they hear me speak, they're like, oh, you sound like a white man. I'm like, because I sound educated. So as a black person telling me that, it's just you're disrespecting our own community. And as a white person, that's being low expectation racism. Because you're pretty much saying as a black man, you're not supposed to sound educated. You're not supposed to be well-spoken. You're supposed to sound ignorant. You're supposed to sound, foolish and loud and aggressive. That's how a black person acts. Can't you see the racism in that? So you see the same thing happening even with the white people. I said back in the day when I was younger, I remember my parents educated me on America's past when it came to slavery when I got older. They didn't teach me when I was younger. But when they educated me, I remember thinking as a kid to myself, if I was in the shoes were on other feet and I was a white person back in those days, well, I'd be smart enough to know black people aren't animals and savages and need to be treated like garbage. Or I'd be like the Quakers who helped with the Underground Railroad and helped the Harriet Tubmans of the world free blacks from slavery. I would like to think I was the latter if I was around in those shoes in that time. Now in modern times, I see the Democratic Party using blacks as the hate group against white people. And they're trying to make whites the minority in terms of who they are as people. That is no longer popular. That is racism. That is hate now to be pretty much a white person. They try to do it. That's why we have all these angry white Karen leftists coming after white people. It's the heterosexual white male they're coming after the most. Conservative heterosexual white male. That is like the enemy of the Democratic Party. And as you see now, also the black heterosexual black male is also getting pushed away from the Democratic Party. So they don't want strong men, period. But the strong white male heterosexual is what they're really coming after right now. And that's unfortunate. And I'm not going to sit back and let that happen. Just me as an American, because I'm still a fellow American. We're all Americans here, people. We're all under the same flag. We're all, love the same country. So with that said, we need to come together. We stand divided, we fall. And you see they're trying to divide us so they can conquer us right now. And that's why you see so much of this ignorance happening. This wasn't around when I was growing up in the 90s. This started happening to me after Obama's presidency. 8 years of Obama got us what we're at right now. Because he's the one who pushed his identity politics narrative as a president. And he's the one who, of course, invited Black Lives Matter into the White House, who is a domestic terrorist group along with Antifa. But, they use Black Lives Matter term, oh, we're here to help you because Black Lives Matter. Like Antifa, we're anti-fascists, we're here to help you. No, they're not. They use those labels so they can be a hate group. They can be a terrorist organization, a domestic terrorist organization. And yet they're trying to label us MAGA supporters as terrorists because of the Capitol incident where nobody was murdered, nobody got seriously hurt. I mean, accidents did occur, but it wasn't nobody purposely hurting anybody. That's why cops were inside the Capitol with those people that went in there taking selfies with them, because it wasn't a terrorist act. But yet they're trying to use that one act to just put a brush across the whole MAGA movement and say we're a domestic hate group, while they have domestic terrorist acts happening every single day within their own party. And we're seeing it with Joe Biden making his recent statements. The New York City school systems, they have a white identity chart where they pretty much said one side is like white supremacy, or like all the way on the left is like in the red is white supremacy, and all the way on the right, they got white traitor and white abolitionist. So if you're a white traitor, they're saying you're pretty much in the green if you're a white person. If you're a traitor to America, like, how that makes absolutely no sense at all. But this is what we're dealing with, folks. This is 2021 we're dealing with. This is modern day politics. It's all about, separation, identity politics, LGBTQ with the transgendered and the women's room and all stuff like that. They're twisting everything around, man. Like the Bible said, at the end of times, good would be bad and bad would be good. And this is what we're witnessing right now. And this is why I'm out here fighting. Because I know a lot of my white conservatives out there, you guys cannot come out and say what I'm saying right now, because you'll be criticized, you'll be attacked mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. If they can ruin your job and your career, they would. So somebody needs to speak up, and I'll be that person to speak up. Because I had Americans in the past fight on my behalf, had my back, who were black, who were white, who were Hispanic, who were Asians. I got a lot of friends and people I consider family who are not my same skin color and who are my same skin color. It doesn't matter. It's all about content of character, not your melatonin in your skin. Your content of your character, like Martin Luther King taught me and taught us. Martin Luther King Jr. taught all of us. That's what's so important, man. And it was in the Bible. I carry myself. I'm a Christian. I'm not perfect. Always got our sins or whatever. But at the end of the day, I look at this quote that we should use in the 90s all the time. What would Jesus do? And when I look at what would Jesus do, man, if he was walking this earth today, he would definitely not be siding with Black Lives Matter. He definitely wouldn't be a part of Antifa. He would definitely be siding with Joe Biden and camel hairs, sleepy Joe Biden and camel hairs. These people who just don't need to go in details about them both. But if you look at their past, they did more damage to the black community than helping them. And now they're the ones who want to call Trump racist and call Trump, these crazy, foolish names, when in reality, they're the ones who have done a lot of damage to the black community overall. And that crime bill is a big part of it. And Kamala Harris, Camel Harris, was a big one who's pushing that bill. So I'm just here to say, America, I'm here to fight. Black Lives MAGA, you see the hat? I represent the MAGA movement. It's not dying, it's not slowing down, it's getting stronger, it's gaining steam. And we're going to keep pushing forward, we're going to keep pushing hard, and we're going to bring change to this country. Trump hit the spark in the fire, and now the fire's going to get blazing, and we're going to push that fire and keep it going. So if Trump runs again in 2024 or not, it doesn't matter. The MAGA movement is here and it's stronger than ever. And I'll let you guys know. Thank you for tuning in. And like always, God bless everybody out there listening. And God bless the United States of America. Peace out.